Great reviews start with great preparation. And the first thing to consider is who to involve and who to invite. Usually, you do this with the relationship circle with the child or young person and with their family if necessary to figure out who's important in their life, who needs to be at the review and who they want to be there as well. Once you've decided who to involve, the next question is, how do we make sure that the child or young person is at the centre of the entire process and that they feel completely involved? So we'll be supporting them to send out the invitations wherever possible and also making sure that we understand how they communicate. And this might require a communication chart and how they make decisions, and a decision-making agreement or profile might be useful here as well. We need to know and think about how to make sure the family and the child or young person are completely supported during the meeting and have conversations with them about what this will look like. We need to check what information is already available from previous assessments or person-centred reviews. You will have already identified what else you need to know and how to gather that information. Some of it may involve supporting other people to prepare information for the meeting as well, for example, professionals or other people who've been invited. When you get to the meeting itself, part of your role as the facilitator will be to make sure you've created a relaxed atmosphere. So you already have had conversations with the child or young person about whether to play music, whether there are specific things to eat or drink that will make this really work for the young person, and what role they want to play throughout the meeting. You'll then welcome everyone and do the introductions and be clear about the ground rules. Usually, we do that by asking each person to introduce themselves in relation to who they are in the child or young person's life and to say something positive about them. And as the facilitator, you'll be recording that. Then you'll be introducing the next section. You'll already have on boards or flip charts all the information that's already been gathered. And you'll be asking the people in the room to check and to add to this. You might be putting on music here if you've got the child or young person's choice. After that's been completed, you'll have information about the child or young person and their aspirations for the future. You'll know what's important to the young person now. You'll know what's important for them, their assessed needs that you'll have gathered from professional assessments. You'll know what good support looks like for the child or young person, and you might have a list of questions or things to figure out to answer as well. And you'll know what's working and not working from different perspectives around the 4 outcome areas. These outcome areas are language, learning and development, or moving to higher education or employment, independent living, being part of the community and having friends and relationships, being healthy. And there may be other areas of the child or young person's life which have been covered during working and not working for them. We then move from checking this information and adding to it to getting to clear outcomes, and then thinking about provision, targets, and actions that will deliver on these outcomes. Each outcome will reflect the child or young person's aspirations and also reflects what matters to them, what's important to them, their needs. Will change what's not working and build on what is working. Once you've developed your draft outcomes, there's a process for checking the outcomes as well, to make sure that they're going to take them closer to the future they desire. Once you've got the outcomes, you can then come up with ideas for the provision that can achieve these outcomes, and if possible, targets and actions as well. Before you end the meeting, you'll be really clear about who's responsible for what and by when. For writing this up, for distributing the notes and the tasks, and for taking this information to the final individual development plan. So the final stage of this process is step 3, where the information that you've gathered right at the beginning, the information that's been developed through the person-centred reviews, the outcomes, provision, targets and actions all come together into the plan and are agreed as part of the preparing the IDP process.